Good morning, it's not even fucking morning. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I need to be more excited. Fuck, this is so weird. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chris. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am a fucking ring. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chris. I'm a graphic designer based in Melbourne, and I'm actually very excited to be making this video today because it's the first video in which I get to show you guys how I go about my client work. Now, this client came to me through a friend called Daniel. He owns a marketing agency called Bove Marketing, and they basically need a logo. What did they need a logo of? Well, I wasn't really too sure, and so I asked them for a pretty in-depth brief in which they gave me. Now, throughout this video, I am going to be showing you guys the emails in which I send to and fro the clients so that you guys can actually get an understanding of how I communicate with them, what I actually try to get out of them to gain a better understanding of the project to ultimately create the best logo possible. So if you see me put up a screen grab of the emails, feel free to pause it, have a read so that you get a little bit more context. So basically I started off with asking them for a brief, asking them questions like, you know, what is your business about? What kind of materials do you use? What color palettes are you looking for? And they sent me back this, which was actually really helpful. And so after I received that, I went on forward and created 2 pages of just some rough initial sketches, some rough concepts, just to show them my ideas and where my kind of head was at. So without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys some B-roll in regards to the first round of sketches. Sweet, so they were the initial sketches in which I created. I did receive some feedback from them and they said that it wasn't really on track. Now, if you do receive negative feedback, well, not negative feedback, but non-positive feedback in regards to your sketches or your concepts, don't take it to heart. You just need to basically move on and really try and adapt your ideas and your creative flow best to suit their kind of perception of how they want the logo. And that's exactly what I did. I created another round of sketches for them, 2 pages, and fortunately this was in more of a direction in which they were looking for. So these are the second round of pages. Alrighty, so fortunately after those sketches I sent them back and I gave them a bit of advice in regards to which I thought worked best. I was saying things like, you know, I think it would be smart to go with a logo that encases the letters W and R, this way that you can, you know, portray it on any kind of background without elements you know, kind of falling out or getting lost, just kind of pushing them in a direction in which kind of helps you with your design process and ultimately helps them later down the track when displaying their brand. So they picked 3 concepts. These were the 3, and I basically took these to the next stage, in which I like to call concept development. So I chucked these on the computer and basically mocked them up for them just so that they could see it digitally, and this was the process.
Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the fast lit, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm young and wild, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash, another chore on my list, out of this orbit, I saw with the pen, I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit, I sipped the potion and poured it, I on the tide when she poured it, opportunity knock at the door, then I grin, they rush for the doors, then they open like bliss, pin stroke, game cold as the fridge, sound wave for like more than the clicks, cowabunga, surf the web for my shit, ayy, wait. Being gritty, don't pity, they fool thing with me being real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty.
Fantastic. So I sent them back quite a long email now, because after I've made 3 concepts, one of them we're gonna go with. Now I do like to encourage my clients to pick one, although I do suggest that they can pick 2, just in case they want to see one or the other more refined and they're a bit on the fence. So these were the sketches in which they chose, and this is what we turned them into. Fortunately, they just chose one, which was this one, and we basically took it onto refinement. This stage is directed more towards just changing minor details, not really changing the whole logo itself. You do have the fundamental core design, but if they're looking for things like in this circumstance, they wanted to make it a bit more realistic, then this is the stage in which you apply those. So that is what their feedback was, and this is the process of how I did it.
Young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash, another chore on my list, out of this orbit, I saw with the pen, I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit, I sipped the potion and poured it, I on the tide when she poured it, opportunity knock at the door, then I grin, they rush for the doors, then they open like bliss, pin stroke, game cold as the fridge, sound wave for like more than the clicks, cowabunga, surf the web for my shit, ayy. Being gritty, don't pity, they fool thing with me being real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty, been this since scrimmage, don't play game with me, I volley these hits like I play tennis, I dreamt this shit, now I live it, don't pitch me, I live here.
Sweet, so that was the process of me basically refining our concept in which we took from our concept development. I worked on making the wood grain more realistic by actually adding some grain within it, and with the metal work I started playing around with some gradients, making the gradients shine from left to right, crossing over, actually adding some 3D elements just to make it look a little bit heavier and as a result more realistic. But I didn't go 100%. I'd still left a little bit of room to make it more realistic. However, I didn't know whether the client was going to be happy with what I currently created. Now, this is just an attempt of me potentially saving a little bit of time, so I just sent them a quick email saying, hey guys, this is what I've got, what do you think? They did come back to me, however, and say, if you can make it more realistic, we would like to see that. And so I basically went on and entered the 3rd and final stage of the process, or refinement, I guess, and I just made it look a bit more realistic. Now, within this process as well, I was aiming to play around with typography a little bit more. I was lucky because they already had a typeface in which they wanted me to go with, and so I started playing around with layout, positioning, ways in which they can kind of display the logo whilst also providing them with a black and white logo, which I always think is very important to do with your clients, just in case they encounter an awkward backdrop or whatever. So yeah, this was the final stage of refinement.
like I play tennis. I drink this shit, nah, I never don't pitch me. I lay a pill at the top with the titty, said I run this shit. How I try to with the pistol, body flop with the vision jaw drop when I spit it off top, little bitch. We release 7 figures, catch the fade when they chip me. Bet I count it down to the penny wave. Ay, heavy is all on my mind. I've gotta make that end it. Wait, bet I might spark that wildfire rebel when I breach. Funhouse active. Yeah, king of the palace. Rubber like Malcolm. Ball up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah, hands up in the air, they gun me down. I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bugging out. Funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace. Rubber like Malcolm, ball up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah, hands up in the air.
Now, after I finished up with this process, I collated all of the concepts in which I've made for them with typographic layout and black and white concepts also, and I put them all in one email, and basically it was quite in-depth, this one. I basically explained how I made it more detailed, the finer details in which they might not pick up just off a JPEG image. And I just explained a little bit of my thought process when creating the logo. I like to do this sometimes because it helps the client understand your creativity and your mindset when you're designing this, and it also allows them to create a little bit more of a connection towards the logo themselves. So I explained what I was doing with the wood and the metal, how I basically couldn't make it any more detailed, and so why I think they should be happy with it at this stage. I also state that time in which I've allocated to this project is nearing to an end, and so I am happy to refine a few minor details, but you know, we are going to have to basically kind of wrap it up at this stage. Now obviously you say that nicely, but you still need to keep it professional, otherwise clients, they will take advantage of you, and they will just push and push and push to get, you know, as much work out of you as they possibly can. Now this was the email that I sent them. I got everything together and they were basically really happy with the concept. So after this, the project is nearing an end, and my next email is basically going to be a Google Drive link to a few files in which are the final concepts. Now that's basically the whole process from start to finish of how I go about my client work. If you did find this interesting, or you have any questions in regards to the process itself, feel free to comment below and I'll answer it all. Otherwise, I hope you did learn something. It was really fun and enjoyable for me to create it, and I look forward to creating more of this and refining my tutorials, I guess, of how I go about this, because I know it is very valuable knowledge, and there are a lot of people out there that kind of want to see this raw approach to freelance client work. So yeah, have a good day guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to bringing out more content. Peace.
Yeah.